Let's get into it. Took a trade today and I caught a winning trade. Let's get straight into it. So on the funded, let's go through the funded first. I got stopped out in profit, I guess. Yeah, for this trade on NQ. I took the trade on my live on ES. Ideally, I would want to have taken this on ES, but you know, scaling plan for alpha. I went in with 9 contracts on the live, so that means if I'm risking my stop loss is at 300 on the live, so I mean that means it's well over 10 contracts that I cannot take. So I took about 5 contracts on NQ, realized that was too much, took one off, was in 4 contracts, and I'll get into it later. I was gonna say what I learned from today, but let's get into the trade first. Today we had news at 9 a.m. and we have 9 a.m. news 4 times this week. So, except for 4 times this week, and then Thursday's the only day. But yeah, since we had 9 a.m. news, we can't trade 2 minutes before or after. So we'll just say after 2 minutes on the funded. So, fortunately, took the trade 2 minutes after that 2 minutes, so at 9:04 I was good. Took it on the live, took it on the funded, of course. So yeah, let's go into the day. The bias was bullish. I can mark it out right here. I didn't finish my recap yet, but pre-market bias, I have a tab right here. Low-key bullish. The trend is bullish, broke 1 hour structure, and I have a 1 hour inverse fair value gap, have some nice buy side targets. Bigger picture, it is bearish, but we might be oversold. So, bigger picture, we are bearish. I mean, look at this leg. Definitely bearish, but like I said, I felt like we were a little oversold. And yeah, bias was correct today, fortunately. I was saying this when like a little into market open, but most of the time I am right on my bias. So it's like, is the method just buying or selling when whatever your bias is when the market open? Because, bro, I can't tell you how many times market is either pumped or dumped, aligning with the bias, and it's just completely running through. A lot of people didn't take a trade today because, the targets got hit, which I understand. That's a good reason. But, I mean, we're truly bullish, and the reason why I took it, we're truly bullish, then why not? Why wouldn't we take out this target and other targets, So, yeah. But I don't know, it might be the method. But yeah, like I said, bullish. This was the IFVG on the 1 hour I was talking about. Both indexes invalidated it. On ES, we respected this 1 hour gap. And yeah, showing us bullish confluences, respecting bullish confluences, disrespecting bearish confluences. Ideally, when market open up, I would want to have seen a liquidity sweep at this low, and potentially a fill in this 1 hour gap. These 1 hour gaps too on ES, but it didn't happen. We just kept pumping. So let's get into the trade. So we just kept pumping, right? Taking out all these targets. And what I saw was this 5-minute gap getting respected right before news drops. Okay. This candle closes, news drops, right? We get some bullish reactions. News drops right here. Okay, mark this fair value gap out. But this is just a combination of these 2 1-minute gaps. So I just combined them. I want to see this get close above, and then I'm going to enter. And we have a pretty relatively close target too. So if we're truly bullish, why wouldn't we take out the high? That's how I looked at it and told myself. So we got a clean inverse, good entry for a 1 to 1.26. Stop loss was based on underneath this 1 minute gap, because it wouldn't really make sense in my opinion for price to already fill this 5 minute gap and then push lower. Obviously anything can happen, but that's just how I looked at it. And so I have my stop right there. I went in with 9 contracts, so if I lost this trade, would have been a minus 300 day. Minus 300. Let's see what happened if I went in with 10. Wow, I could have went in with 10 for a bigger day. it seems like every time I catch a winning trade, I risk like 300 or close to 300, and on my losing trades, I risk like 350. I give myself room to risk on the live 300, 350, and of course when I lose, I risk my full amount. So, but hey, it is what it is. I'm not gonna dwell on it too much. But yeah, trade played out in like 3 minutes. So obviously fortunate for that. Could have easily had this targeted, but I want to just take a piece of the pie for 3 RR. That would have been nasty for $900 a day, risking 300. Would have been clean, but take the piece of the pie. Don't think about the P&L and all. So yeah, I get into the funded. I took on the same time because I learned from my lesson in the past. Like I should take it if it's like the situation back then where it's too many contracts and I want to risk more. Take it on NQ. And to get into what I should have learned today, or what I did learn, is I probably should have closed my position when ES took out this high. So it was around this point on the NASDAQ. But in my mind, I was like, we're kind of close. I'm just going to hold it. No, I don't want to close too early. But it was a pretty smart decision to close early. I know it's hindsight, but still, I feel like it's still smart to should have done so. But yeah, took it on based on the same idea. Took it on the NASDAQ. Got my entry right here. Like I said, scaled one because I was risking too much. I had my stop loss a little lower than I did on ES, way below this 1 minute gap, and way below this low. I was targeting. They did have targets on ES, these relative equal highs right here. This is a 4-hour high, and then another 1-hour high right there. So that was my targeting. And also, around this point, it was $1,200 for the $1,200, and that is the max you can make in a singular day on your best day. If you follow the consistency rule of 40%, and then my plan is to build it to 3K, so 3K times 40%. My best day can't be more than 1,200. So that was the main thing. So I guess I was thinking about that. That's why I didn't close. But even then, at this point, it was like $1,000, trade. And so I was definitely, because imagine if this was a $1,200 mark, right? I would have definitely closed when ES took out that high. So I was thinking about the P&L there, but it is what it is. I moved. So when price hit this target, I moved stops at break even on the fundeds, and then as we kept going up, I kept trailing my stop, and then eventually my last trailed was at the end of this 5-minute gap. So that's where I got stopped out at. Actually, no, it was at the beginning. It was at this low, so little into this 5-minute gap, and this path that I drew out almost played out. I was like, damn, this is like perfect. Retrace in the 5-minute gap, come in, retrace a little bit more, come in, and then I was expecting, it was like honestly about to work out perfect. Retrace again a little bit, and then boom, but it didn't play out. But it is what it is. Got my piece of the pie. My stop out point, my break even, or I guess my stop out in profit was 500. But since I closed one of these contracts in profit, I was up like $13. So that's why I'm up like $5.18 or something. I could probably show it right here. First trade of the month. Good start to the month. Let's keep it going. Yeah, like I said. And then commissions and all that. But first trade of the month. Let's keep it going. New month. Same me. Just got to keep my head down. Take high probable trades. And yeah, it's really simple. Just do what I need to do. I made about 366 on the live, and then 518 across 3. So did I just open Discord? Oh, I did. Damn it. But yeah, that's about it. Here's the calculations right here. Plus 366 right here. So total on the day 1,900. Could have been well over a 3K day, but hey, I'm gonna be grateful. Shoulda, coulda, woulda. Let's have a good February, and yeah, that's about it. God bless.